Hi everybody. This is the course introduction video for my Guidance 507 class for fall 2022, the 14-week version. And I want you to watch this entire video because it contains all the important information that you need to know for the class. It is kind of long, so please hang in there and watch the whole thing. Students who don't watch the course introduction video are really confused students. They don't know what's going on, and they are constantly having to contact me to email and text to ask questions that are answered in this video. And I usually keep referring them back to the video, like go watch the course introduction, go watch the course introduction. So you'll save yourself a lot of time, frustration, hassle, etc. if you just watch this whole video. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. You can actually just listen to it. So you could put this on and like go drive to, LA or something. And I'll entertain you for the time you're in the car, and then you can, not worry about having the course introduction not done. So you don't have to sit here and watch me because I'm just going to be talking, and you could just listen, and that's fine. You may want to take some notes though, I don't know, or you may want to just make sure that you're able to pay attention 100% while you're listening. Okay, so I'm going to start out by saying you need to start by always checking the course announcement section in the class. And this is because I tend to communicate information to you via course announcements. I also offer extra credit via the course announcement. So I will make an announcement, and at the bottom I'll write something like, if you respond to this message, you'll get extra points. And so if you're on top of it and you're checking the course announcements, you'll be able to, respond in the time frame that I told you to respond and get those extra credit points, which is kind of nice, right? But the reason why I want you to check there is because there's so many updates throughout the term about assignments. So sometimes I'll add assignments, sometimes I will remove assignments. So, and you won't know about that unless you're checking in with the course announcements. And I expect you to do so. So if you're not checking in with the course announcements and you miss something and you go, that's not fair, I missed it because it was in an announcement. I'm telling you right now that you're required to check the course announcements every week, at least once a week. I would recommend every time you check into Canvas that you also check into the course announcements. When I do an announcement, it should show up in your Chafee email, but I understand not everybody is always checking their Chafee email. So maybe if you're smart about it, you will forward your Chafee email to whatever email you do actually check, so that way you do get those messages. But if you're not going to do that, then you just need to make sure you check the announcement section. It's on the left-hand side in Canvas every time you come. All right, I do have like a little list of things that I'm going to be going over, so you may see me looking down at that as I'm going through this lecture. So the next one is you need to get your materials right away, and you need 3 things for the class, and there are some additional things that are already like available and free to you that you just need to make sure you know how to use. Okay, so the first thing is you need to get this textbook, and this is the most important book, and this is the teacher's edition. So the student edition just looks like this middle part here. It's like the teal and white. I want you to get the ebook version because it's available right away. It's really quick. If you're one of those people that can't stand ebooks, then I guess you can get the paperback version. I do have a video on how to purchase your course textbooks, in which I go through in excruciating detail how to find the cheapest price for these textbooks. Now, I am going to say that there is an option to get a free textbook in a PDF format, but I'm not going to talk about it here in this video. I'm going to put it in the course announcements. So if you'd like to get a free version of this textbook and not have to pay for it, then make sure you check the course announcements during the first week. Okay? The next one is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. This comes in an audiobook version, which is absolutely fine. It also comes in this paperback version, which is fine too. I think there's actually a hardcover version, but you don't see too many of those anymore. This is a pretty old book. Be careful when you're buying this online because there is a little tiny itty bitty version of it floating around, which obviously won't work because it's not actually the book. There are also some weird audio versions where it's not actually the whole book either. So be sure to read the descriptions when you're purchasing this book, or watch my video on how to purchase your textbooks for the cheapest way. And you will find tips on how to make sure you get the right one. You also need a day planner. So it has to be a physical day planner. Inside, the pages need to be either daily or weekly, so either a day on each page or a week on both pages. What I don't want is for you to get the monthly planner where it's a whole month, because it's just not enough space for you to write everything that you're going to write. In the video on how to purchase your textbooks, I do go over how to find the right day planner for cheap, and I think I found one for like $2 on Amazon or something like that. That meets the requirements for this assignment. There are also free day planners at Chafee, so you have to physically go to the Chafee campus, but they have them at the bookstore. They have them in the administration building, the SSA building, in counseling, and also in, I think, financial aid. So you can pick up a free day planner there if you like. Okay, so my next thing is number 3, you need to follow instructions. So I know that goes without saying, but for this class in particular, that's how I'm grading all of your assignments. And the reason is the assignments that we do in this class are really not like, that's so difficult. It's very easy work. It's all self-reflection. So it's basically asking you personal questions like, how do you feel about your life right now? And then you have to write about that, type out, I feel like kind of distressed about my life right now, or I feel great about my life right now. So there's really no right or wrong answer per se. So because it's sort of hard to grade people on what the quality of what they're saying, because it's all just, completely subjective, I tend to grade based on how you follow the directions for the assignment. So each assignment will have its own set of directions, and I try to make them different for almost every assignment, so you actually do have to read them. You can't just assume that it's the same as the last assignment, because it isn't. I do try to keep similar format, but I'll change it up. Like I'll be, you need 3 sentence answers on this assignment. You need 5 sentence answers on this assignment. So you have to kind of stay on your toes. And the reason why is because one of the things I noticed as a college instructor was that the reason why people were doing poorly in guidance class, or in most of their classes in general, is they weren't following the instructions. And I had other teachers that I spoke to in other disciplines like math, science, English, and they were saying the same thing, that their students were just not reading the directions on the test, and that's why they were getting a bad grade, or they weren't doing the project the way they were supposed to. It's like they just decided to do it however they want, and they didn't read the instructions. And so I decided, well, I'm going to design this class so that way it is a training for students to follow instructions, because you can't do well if you're not following the instructions. You will miss, like some people will do an entire assignment, didn't follow the directions at all, and they'll get like 5 points out of 40 points. And they'll be like, why did I only get 5 out of 40? And I'm like, well, you didn't follow the directions. So make sure you follow directions. That's all. Okay, next, number 4. There's a couple of technical problems in Canvas that are really important that you need to know about. I do have this listed in other places in the course too, but kind of nice to mention them here. So the first one is Canvas times out after about 5 minutes. So if you're working on an assignment and just typing away, and then the doorbell rings and you go to get the door, by the time you get back and sit down, it looks like everything's fine in Canvas. You can't tell that it timed out, and so you may continue even working on it more. Then when you go to upload it or turn it in, that's when it tells you that it timed out. And you're like, wait, I was just working on this. So my advice is to do your work in another word processing program and then copy and paste it into the text box for the assignment. So that way you don't have to do the work in Canvas, if that makes sense. So work in Pages, work in Google Docs, and work in Microsoft Word, and those are all fine ways to do it. When uploading, this is another fun one. I don't know why Canvas is like this. It's just so backwards. It's like, are we in 1990? We might be. So we're going back to 1990. This is how it used to be. You couldn't upload, one thing at a time. You had to upload everything together. So this is how it's going to work. When you go to upload something for an assignment, let's say you have 3 things. If you upload the first thing and put it into the assignment, and then go to the second thing and upload that, the second thing will bump out the first thing, and the only thing that will be left is the second thing. And that's frustrating. So what you have to do is you choose one thing and you hold on to that, and then you choose add another, Then you add the second thing. Then you choose add another. Then you add the third thing. Then you press upload, and everything uploads at once. You could upload up to 2 gigabytes at once, so most things are not going to be that much. And yes, it doesn't matter how many things there are. The newest thing's always going to bump out the oldest thing, which can be convenient if you're like trying to just resubmit the assignment and you put the new things in. It just bumps out the old things. You have to like delete them. The new thing will just bump the old thing. Got it? Okay. So the last thing that is really annoying about Canvas is that you cannot provide links to assignments. So if you use another program or something and you provide a link, it does not work. I cannot open that link. And that goes for like Google Docs, Dropbox, any other cloud, iCloud, any of that stuff. No links to assignments in clouds. Does not work in Canvas. I can't open them. You will get an F, like 0. And I will not let you return it in because that's not fair to the other students who did turn it in on time correctly. And that's why I'm telling you now, no links to assignments. And if you do use a link in an assignment, I won't be able to access it, first of all. And second of all, you will get a failing grade on that assignment. And if you ask me, can I resubmit it? I will say no, because I told you right now that you're not allowed to use links to assignments. No links ever. And we will not be using links for any reason during this semester. Okay, so those are the 3 big annoying things about Canvas. If you do have upload problems in Canvas, this is the procedure. This is what you need to do. So say you're trying to upload an assignment and it's not working in Canvas. It will not upload properly. And you need to text me right away and say, I'm having a problem uploading in Canvas. So the reason why we have problems uploading is usually your internet isn't working. That's usually the first thing that's going on. If it is not your internet, then it is a problem with Canvas, and it's usually a system-wide problem that I can quickly check and verify that they're having an issue. Either way, if you are having upload problems at a certain time, you can email me that assignment as long as it's before the due date. So let's say it's 11:50 and your work is due at 11:59. You go to upload, you have a problem. You immediately text me, Dr. Borgi, I can't upload. I'm emailing you the assignment. You can email me the assignment, but you need to make sure that your email hits that your email, when you send it out, it's before 11:59 p.m., which is the deadline. So if you send it to me after the deadline, I'm not going to honor that. I will not give you credit for it. Do you understand? And this is why. So let me tell you why. Students in the past, not you guys, but students in the past have abused this. And I had a student a couple semesters ago who was claiming to have upload problems every single week at 11:50, right before the due date. So 9 minutes before the due date, she's always having a problem uploading. And so what she was doing was she was calling me and telling me, look, I'm having a problem uploading. And then I was like, okay, well, you need to send me proof that you have completed the assignment. So send me photos right now. But then she wouldn't send me the photos right away. She would send them to me like at 2 a.m. or something. And it was obvious that she was just trying to buy herself some more time to get the assignment done. And I didn't have this rule in place at the time where I was saying you have to email it to me right then or before the assignment is due in order for me to give you credit. And so I had to change my rules and adjust because she was abusing that. So because she abused it, you guys all get a different situation, which is if you can't send it to me via email or via Canvas, you can always text it to me. So a lot of times, even when our internet isn't working, you can just take a picture of the assignment that you completed and send it to me. And that is only going to work out if you're having an upload problem in Canvas and you text me and let me know that you're having an upload problem, you can't email, and then you can go ahead and send it to me. But you have to make sure you send it before the actual due date and time. That's all. All right. So if Canvas is not working for everybody, like let's say Canvas is down, if it's only down for a couple hours, then I probably won't even adjust anything. If it's only down for a couple hours on one of the days during the week. If it's down on the due date, so let's say it's down on Monday for 3 hours, I might extend the deadline 3 hours. So to make up for that time that maybe people might have been trying to upload or something. But if it's on a day that's not the due date and it's only a couple hours, I probably won't give any extra time. If Canvas is down for a significant amount of time, like let's say it's down for a whole day, I'll probably add an extra day that you can work on the assignment. So you'll have an extended deadline or extended due date. If there is an internet outage and it affects a large area, so let's say it affects all of Fontana or it affects all of Rancho or all of San Bernardino County, if it's a widespread power outage or a widespread internet outage, then I will add extra time to the due date just because nobody could work on it during that time and you guys deserve the extra time to finish it. If it's just your internet that's down, your internet provider, I would make sure that you have a backup place that you can go that uses a different internet provider. So that way, if your internet goes down, you have backup so you can work on it. Now, of course, if you don't wait till the last minute to turn in your work when the internet goes down, it's not a big deal because when it comes back on, you can just pick up where you left off and figure it out. So I think that if you're doing what I want you to do, which is I want you to turn your work in by Friday. So get your homework for my class done during the week, turn it in by Friday. That way, if you have any problems on Friday with uploading, you have a few more days to, fix it and get it handled, and you won't be late on anything. And I think that managing your time, or, we're going to be doing a lot on time management in here. I want you to be using a day planner. I want you to be trying and aiming to get your assignments turned in on Friday instead of Monday, the due date. Get used to kind of turning things in with a little extra time to spare. So that way, if you do encounter some type of issue or problem, it's not a big deal. But as I was saying, if there is a huge outage, I will add, extra time. But if it's just your internet that's down and you could go use the internet somewhere else, then I'm not going to give you extra time. And that includes on the due date and especially on the due date. So like if you're working on your stuff last minute on that due date and your internet goes down and you can't finish your assignments, I'm not going to give you more time. So just know that ahead of time that there will not be extra time I will not give you extra time just because your internet is down. If there's a widespread outage, that's a different situation, okay? All right, so what else? Oh, assignments are due at 11:59 p.m. on Mondays. So if it appears in the syllabus during a given week, so let's say week 1, you've got these assignments that you see in Canvas. Those assignments will all be due at 11:59 on the following Monday. And they all say that they're due on that date. So no big deal. The goal is to get your work done early. So what I would do is use your day planner, open it up, look at the assignments, figure out when you're going to do them, put them in your day planner when you will do them. Make sure you put the due date in your day planner so you know when they're due. And then try to stick with your plan and get as much done as you possibly can before the due date. And if you can get it done by Friday, that means you have Saturday and Sunday to have fun and enjoy your weekend, or get done the stuff that you have to get done for other classes or other things. So number 6 is my availability, which is I actually will be having several Zoom meetings where you can meet with me individually. There are no Zoom meetings that are required for the class. You are just basically on your own, working on your own via Canvas, but you're sticking with the due dates that are there for every single week, which are Mondays at 11:59 p.m. Every Monday is a new week, and I put new stuff out. The stuff I roll out week by week. So right now, if you go in, you'll see the course intro, you'll see week 1. You won't be able to see weeks 2 through 14 because they will be rolled out as we go. I try to get my my next week's stuff up by like Saturday, prior to the week starting on Monday. Sometimes it takes me till Monday, but I will do it by Monday at 9 p.m., which is my deadline. But I like to get it done on Saturday just so it's done early because I'm trying to set a good example for you guys. So during the week, each week, this is what you need to do. So the first thing you should do is check your syllabus. The course syllabus is already available for you right now. You can go take a look at it. It tells you all the assignments and all the readings for every single week in the class. And those assignments and readings are, already laid out for you. I already know what they're going to be. That's exactly what you're going to see in Canvas. It's the syllabus is the place that you should be looking to make sure that you get everything done. And I will try to trick you because if you're just using Canvas, you're going to miss stuff because there's stuff in the syllabus that if you're not looking at the syllabus and you're just in Canvas, you won't know to go look for it. And that's because I want you to get used to using your course syllabus, not just in my class, but in the other classes, because the course syllabus is like the contract between you and me. I'm saying, these are the things we're going to be doing. This is exactly what we're going to be doing. And you're saying, I got that. So when you look at the course syllabus every week, that's where you should be taking the assignments from and putting into your day planner. Then go in Canvas and look for those assignments. I do have at one point in the semester, or maybe two, I have some assignments in which I am not going to assign a due date in Canvas because I want you to look at your syllabus and see, oh, this assignment's due. You'll see it under undated assignments in the assignment list in Canvas, but a lot of you guys will, if you're not checking the syllabus, you won't realize, oh, that's due this week. So I want you to make sure you're checking your course syllabus every week, and there is a test on this, okay? So if you're not doing it, you will miss points, okay? There is a syllabus contract that you need to sign this week via DocuSign. And I do have instructions on how to do that and where to go about doing that, and it's pretty easy. But if you do not sign that, you will not be able to continue on in the course. I will ask you to drop the class if you have not completed that syllabus contract this week. So anyone that doesn't complete it this week will get an email from me saying, because you didn't complete the syllabus contract, I'm assuming that you do not want to enter the course. And I will be dropping you during my census. I have a census drop that I do. And so even if you've accessed Canvas and you've been in the class, if you haven't signed the syllabus contract, I am assuming that you do not want to take the class. So I'm sure you can see now where, like, if you didn't watch the course introduction and you just went about your business and you forgot to sign the syllabus contract, you would be really shocked to get an email from me saying I'm dropping you from the class. But that's what will happen if you do not complete the syllabus contract. So the other assignments, obviously, I want you to complete those as well for the first week, including turning in your books and your day planner. But if you do not sign the syllabus contract, you cannot continue in my class because you need to understand what's in that contract before I feel comfortable having you stay. This is a very serious class where we talk about really sensitive issues like, depression and addiction to different things and, just kind of really personal stuff. And so we need to understand that what we talk about in here is confidential, meaning we're not going to share that with other people outside of here. There is a whole video covering what's in the syllabus contract, or you can simply read the contract and then sign it. But I want you to either watch the video or read it so you know what you're signing before you sign it. On that contract, you also need to ask me a question or make a comment for full credit. And that's just part of my, you got to follow the instructions thing. So if you read through the whole thing, you'll see, I have to sign the contract, and I also have to ask a question or make a comment to Dr. Borgi. And if I do that, then I'll get my full credit. Okay? So you need to check your syllabus every week, first thing. Put that stuff into your day planner. Then you need to do all the readings that are listed for that week. And I usually have one reading from this book. So there'll be like chapter 1 from this book, and then there'll be like habit 1 from this book. Chapter 1, habit 1. So all the habit ones are from the 7 habits, and all the chapter ones are from On Course. Most of the homework is out of this book on course, but this book will change your life. If you read it, it really will. I've had a lot of students tell me, why are we doing this teens book? We're not teens. Well, I don't know what to say other than age is just a number. And this material, the material in here, even though it's aimed or geared towards teens, it's geared towards students. And that's what I like about it, is the one that's the 7 Habits for Highly Effective People is geared towards people in the workforce. But this is geared towards students, and so that's why I chose it. And it's also a much easier read than the 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. So the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, even though you're not a teen, it's going to help you tremendously. And I would say every time I read this book, it makes me, it reminds me of some of the things that I've learned in the past that I need to kind of go back to, because sometimes you learn some amazing stuff and you implement it, and then as you go on in life, you kind of lose track of that stuff. And so every time I read it, I feel like I get rejuvenated. So you'll do the reading. Then number 4, you'll go to the modules tab in Canvas. So if you're looking at Canvas, it's on your left-hand side. So it's on your left-hand side. So I guess I'll be over here for you. But yeah, so it's on your left-hand side, and it just says modules. And when you click on modules, you'll be able to see everything that is open in the class. So right now you'll be able to see the course intro, and you'll be able to see week 1. And you can literally see every single piece of information that's there. There are PowerPoints in there. There are activities. There are all kinds of fun things. And instead of having to go through, like if you go from the home page, and on the home page there's the video, and then underneath it are week 1, week 2, week 3. So if you just click there, you have to kind of scroll through every single thing and press continue, or next, to get through everything. That could be pretty tedious. But in the modules view, you're able to see everything at a glance and just kind of go to what you want to go to. And you'll also be able to see everything, because I think when you do it the other way, there's some things you don't see. So please listen, use modules view. It will save you so much time. Again, I get so many people who have not watched the course introduction super confused about where to access certain materials because they're trying to use that tab on the home page. They don't realize it's like wasting so much time for themselves trying to scroll through everything every single time. It's just a pain in the butt. So using the modules view is just a way to save you time and so and energy when you're looking for stuff. And you'll also be able to see all the materials at a glance, which is like much more helpful. So I wish that more people would watch the course introduction so I don't have to like sit there and try and explain this to them individually. It kind of gets old for me. So yeah. Let's see. Next we've got do the assignments. So you want to do all the assignments next. All the assignments usually have due dates at the bottom, so you can kind of see that they're due, when they're due. And they also, and I usually stick them into the content where they fit in with the topics. So like all the assignments for week 1 will have to do with week 1. All right, next we have discussions. So there'll always be, I think there may be one week where we don't have a discussion, but most weeks have at least one discussion in them. In the discussions, you'll be talking to other students about the material. I don't join into the discussions, but I do moderate them, meaning I go through a couple times a week and look to make sure that everybody is on topic and that nobody is belittling or being mean to other people. If for some reason in a discussion you do see that somebody has been super rude or something, feel free to text me and let me know so I can go take a look, because I can just delete their comments or give them a warning or whatever. I've never had a problem with students being rude in any way in this class. Like it just hasn't happened. But if for some reason you are rude or you're not doing what you're supposed to do or you're hurting other people's feelings, I'll probably pull you aside and talk to you. But if it's something that is really excessive or what you did was so horrible, I may have to ask you to leave the class. I've never had to ask anyone to actually leave the class for that reason ever. Hopefully you won't be that first person. Okay, so in Canvas, in module view, I tend to list all the assignments grouped in together with similar topics. So I'll put all the Success Center stuff in one place, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. Your Success Center assignments are going to be worth about half of your grade. So I usually put the Success Center stuff all together. I'll put Chapter 1 stuff all together, Habit 1 stuff all together. So kind of grouped by category so it makes sense in the module view. And it's pretty easy. So one thing that you do need to know is that there is no late work. You probably already figured that out based off of, what I've told you so far about people turning in assignments. But there's no late work. And so the due date of 11:59 p.m. is firm, very firm. And the reason why I do not allow late work is because I'm trying to teach you guys to be responsible and take responsibility for yourself. And so if I have a nice structure where it's like there is no wiggle room. So there are a lot of students that come to this class who are used to being able to talk their way into turning in assignments after their due date. So they'll go to the instructor and be like, oh, this and that happened and this is why, and I can't, and can I please have an extension? And most instructors try to be really accommodating and they'll be like, yeah, but I won't. I'm not going to be. And this is why. So because a lot of students in this class are struggling in school, part of the reason they're struggling is because they're not turning in stuff, or they're not turning in stuff on time. And so I'm requiring from the beginning very firmly. It's almost like a video game, like if you jump and you miss, you're dead, right? You're dead. That's it. You still get another life, like you get to try again next week, but you don't get to do that jump again. Sorry. So if you, for some reason, are unable to turn in work on time in the first week, you will get zeros for all the assignments. And that's like a couple hundred points worth of assignments, I think, with week 1. So there's total of 3,000 points in the class. Each week there's approximately 100 to 300 points worth of assignments, and then there are Success Centers that are in certain weeks. We won't be starting Success Centers, I don't think it's until week 9. Normally, I think in most of my classes we start them right away, but the way things kind of shook out this semester, with us starting a little later and everything, that's how it worked out. So we'll be doing, it's about 2 to 2.5 weeks for each of the assignments. So there's the first one is mindset, the second one's learning strategies, and the third one is time management. And each one of those assignments is worth 500 points. And so for a total of 1,500, and there's 3,000-ish points in the class. So those are very important assignments that you have to get done. And again, with those, same thing. If you miss the deadline or you don't get it done in the time that's allotted, you do not get credit. You cannot do them early. You can't do all of them at once. You have to do them in the time period that is specified in the syllabus. And the only place I really have the due dates are in the syllabus and then in the assignment itself in Canvas. So you do need to look at the syllabus to see the dates that you have to do these assignments. And I strongly urge you to put that in your day planner, plan ahead. All of these Success Center assignments are conducted via Zoom. So you will see that you have to download Zoom and use Zoom. Also, my personal meetings for the semester, because I have a couple set up for us, if you want to talk about your grade or if you want to just talk about whatever, you can drop by and say hi. And those are also via Zoom. But we have no, actual meetings on Zoom that you have to attend for this class with me, like lectures type of stuff. But you do need to attend the Success Center assignments or the Success Center groups. You need to do one of each, one mindset, one learning strategies, and one time management. And those are all via Zoom. And the instructions on how to access them are all in Canvas under an assignment called Procedure, how to access Success Center workshops. So if you go to that assignment, it's already up in the course introduction. It'll tell you, I think it says like the weeks 9 through 11 are, the first one, and weeks, 11 through 13 or, the second one. And I'm not sure what the actual weeks are for that third one, but yeah. So that's what's going on. So no late work. and no success centers after the fact. Like, you cannot make them up, and they're worth 500 points apiece. Oh, if you do the success centers in the first week I offer them, so in the first week that they're offered for this class, if you do them during that first week for all three, you'll get 40 extra credit points in addition to the 500 points that they're worth. So you have to do the assignments anyways. So I'm just giving you the 40 points if you do it early, that first week, for each one of the assignments. And I do have, I think on the assignment, it tells you the date by which you have to do it to get those 40 extra credit points. But again, no late work. And again, if you miss out on 500 points, that's a whole letter grade in the class. So if you miss the mindset workshop, you cannot make it up and you're out 500 points. Can you still pass? Yes, most of the time, as long as you've done some of the other work. If you've done no work up to that and then you also miss the mindset, then you probably will not be in a position to pass. If you miss 2 success centers, so if, let's say you miss mindset and learning strategies, you're not going to pass the class. I have had, I think, 1 or 2 students who were able to still pass after they missed 2 success center assignments, but they had done all the other work and not missed anything, and they were able to do all of the extra credit, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And so they were able to still pass with a C, which is the lowest grade that you can get in this class. There are no C minuses at Chafee. I don't know if you didn't know that or not, but I was kind of mind blown when I first started working here, which was I've been here 17 years. That is crazy. So 17 years ago when I started at Chafee, they were like, yeah, there's no C minus grades. And I was kind of like, why is that? I've never gotten a straight answer from anybody. So there's no C minuses. So the lowest grade you can get is a C. Okay, so this class requires 9 hours a week. 9 hours a week of work, which is very part-time. I mean, it's not that much, but you may find that some of your other classes that are supposed to be like, I guess, more core, like maybe English or math or something like that, like maybe even those classes don't take you 9 hours of work per week, but they should. They should. So the amount of work that I'm giving you and the amount of reading I'm giving you and everything, over the years, I've kind of perfected like how much work you should have for a class. So it comes out to, you're doing 3 hours of reading, 3 hours of, looking through everything on Canvas, and 3 hours of actually completing assignments for a total of 9 hours. So if you're doing an online class, that's how it is. So there's a lot more in Canvas for an online class than there would be if this was an in-person class. So like all my lectures, everything is on Canvas. So there's a lot more material that you have to go through. But do know that it will take you that amount of time. And I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not undershooting. I know it's about 9 hours a week. Okay, then number 10. This is one of my favorites. So if you take this class and you really put the effort in, you will transform yourself. You will become a different person than you were 14 weeks ago when you get to the end. And you can see this transformation. If you want to check out, I actually put up the testimonials from other students who have completed the class. And I think I have them right up to last semester. So, and I go back pretty far, maybe to 2020. So you can take a look and see. And these are students who completed my class, not other Opening Doors classes, my class. So you can literally see what people's experience is like in the class by just reading through some of those. You do not have to read them all. I would say just read some, and they are kind of similar in that they're like, when I first started this class, I didn't want to be here. I thought this was stupid. And then I started taking the class and I was like, there's a lot of information here that is actually useful and helpful to me. And I was able to use it. And it changed me. Now I'm a better student. I'm using my day planner. I'm actually scoring well in tests. And I feel better about myself. I have goals and I'm working towards them. And I know what I want and where I'm going. 8 weeks ago, I didn't know that. Or 14 weeks ago, I didn't know that. So a lot of those testimonials are like that. And as an instructor, I'm so used to it now. It's kind of sad in a way. Like when I first started working and doing these classes, I think this program began in 2007, and I've been here this whole time teaching this class. And I think I may be the only instructor that's been here the whole time. So what I noticed back then was, wow, students are they're really getting a lot out of this class, and they're really changing. But as time has gone on and I've kind of perfected the way that I teach this class to the point where I feel very comfortable saying that I've got a great setup here to where if you do what I tell you to do, you are going to not only change, the kind of student that you are, but you're going to change the kind of person that you are. Because you can't really become a different student without becoming a different person. And that means you have to examine some of the things that you're currently doing and how you're doing it and why it's working or not working for you. So change really happens when you start to examine how and why you do the things that you do and what you could do differently. And there's a lot of really cool examples in both of these books to help you, but I think if you read both of these books and if you do your reading, you're going to see the biggest transformation, especially with this book, because this book really, really, really breaks it down. So just to your core, you're reading it and you're like, oh my God, I do this. I'm doing this. I didn't even realize. How can I change? So when we are forced to change, it is, because we want to change. We want it. So you kind of have to want to be here. You kind of have to want to be the best version of yourself. And I think for a lot of you, because you're on academic or progress probation, you may feel like now's the time. Now's the time to really implement some changes so you can stay in school if you want to. Because the habits that you have now, what you're doing now, hasn't been working. So let me give you tons of stuff that you can use. So I'm going to give you all kinds of tools. Like I'm going to be like, here's some tools, have some more tools. There you go, enjoy. All right, give you lots of tools. You're going to be like, okay, here's some tools. Got the tools. All right, and then you're going to look at them and be like, oh, this one sucks, bye. This one is good. I'm like, pocket that one. This one sucks, bye. This one's good, pocket. So what you're going to do, excuse me, my nose is kind of going. I have a little bit of a cold I'm getting over. But you will take the tools that work for you and you will not use the tools that don't work for you, because I'm literally giving tools that work for all kinds of different people to you guys. And it's sort of up to you to filter out the ones you don't think are going to work and the ones. But I would say try as many as you can. You may not even really have time to try them all, but try as many as you can and see what you can do. Okay, so moving on. So I did already talk about the Success Center assignments. I told you there were 3 of them, but I didn't quite tell you all the information you need. So let me finish that. The first thing is that the Success Center activities are all conducted by the BTH Success Center. So Business, Technology, and Hospitality Success Center. They have a schedule, which is in our Canvas, and it's in the assignment called Procedures, how to access Success Center workshops. So when you go into there'll be like a lot of instructions on how to do this. Somewhere in there is the link to the schedule. You want to make sure that you always click on that link to check the schedule, because they changed the schedule a lot. They've already changed it like 5 or 6 times since the start of the semester for my other classes. So I'm warning you about that now. Don't just download the schedule and hang on to it and think that you have the right meetings, because they are constantly changing it based off of their availability. So like sometimes they have a workshop scheduled, but then the person who's running the workshop can't do the workshop because they're doing something else. So they have to cancel that workshop, or they have a different person, or they change it to a different time. So please always check the link. Now, there's also 2 different Zoom rooms that you're going to do your Success Center assignments in. The first one is the Monday through Friday Zoom room. So if your workshop falls Monday through Friday, you'll use that first Zoom room that's listed for Monday through Friday. The Saturday, Sunday one is directly underneath that in that same assignment. And if you have a Saturday or Sunday workshop, you'll go to that Zoom room. And the Monday through Friday Zoom room will not work. When you enter the Zoom room, it will ask you a series of questions. It'll ask you, and I think in that assignment, in the procedures part, I do list what you should put down for your information. So it's very important that you list the course, the section number of this course when you are accessing those services. So you put in like your name, your student ID number, all of your personal stuff, what class this is, Guidance 507, and then the course number, the section number, which I will have listed in that assignment. I don't know it off the top of my head, but you want to fill all that out. Then you'll be let into the Zoom room. You need to have your student ID card ready to go. If you do not have a student ID card, there is a link to get that in Chafee online in that assignment. Also, there's a link, well, I guess you could just walk into the SSA building now because they are open, I think 7:30 to 4:30. As far as I know, that's their schedule for this term. So you could walk in and get a student ID. It does cost money to get a replacement ID. If you've already had one, it costs a few dollars. But they used to do free on Thursdays. I don't know if they still do, but it doesn't hurt to check. You can call ahead and find out. But if you don't have your student ID, you need to get it. You have a few weeks. I don't think we start the Success Center activities till like the 9th week of our class. So that means you have 9 weeks to get your student ID, and you should have it to do the Success Center activities. If you don't have your student ID, they may refuse to let you be in the group. But I would say if you don't have a student ID and you do have your student ID number, at least try to show up and try to just give them the student ID number and tell them you don't have your ID. If they're feeling generous, they might let you stay. Sometimes they're like, sorry, bye. So I'm just warning you ahead of time that you do need your student ID for that. You cannot do the Success Center activities at any other center. It has to be the BTH center. It also has to be the dates specified in our syllabus, because there are other classes who are also accessing the Success Center to take these workshops, but they might be accessing them at different times than you, or times and dates. So the dates that we have in the syllabus are the dates that you need to use. So definitely make sure you have your course syllabus on hand and look and make sure that you're doing the correct dates, because these are really big assignments worth a huge portion of your grade. So each one, again, is worth 500 points. There's 3 of them: mindset, learning strategies, and time management. You have about a 2 to 2.5 week window to complete each one. If you do it in the first week, you'll get 40 points of extra credit. That's the take-home message. All right, so number 12, if you're not planning on actually taking the class, like for any reason you decide at some point, like this isn't for me, or I don't have enough time, or even I'm going to drop out of school, please drop the class in my Chafee view. Because a lot of students are like, well, I'm never going to go back to college anyway, so who cares? But I've got to tell you, there's a lot of students who are in this class right now who went to college here at Chafee 10 years ago, thought they were never going to come back, didn't drop a class, ended up with an FW, which is a fail to withdraw. FWs count as Fs on your GPA. And when they came back to school, now, 10 years later, they have to take this class because they have below 2.0 GPA because they just failed to drop classes and ended up with Fs in those classes, and that's why they're here. So if that's you, sorry, but hopefully you'll be able to turn things around. But if you're sitting in this class right now and you're thinking, I'm just going to drop all my classes, but I'm not actually going to drop my classes, please take a second. Just drop your classes. Once you're enrolled in this class, I'm not going to drop you unless you don't sign the syllabus contract. So if you don't sign the syllabus contract, I will drop you. So if you want to be dropped, that's a good way to be dropped. But after that syllabus contract is turned in, I'm not dropping anybody for anything. So the only way you will be dropped from the class is if you drop yourself. There are drop deadlines. There's a drop deadline with no W. So that's usually pretty close to the beginning of the term. And that's like, if you drop before that deadline, it's like you never entered the class. It doesn't even appear on your transcript. If you drop after that, but before the drop deadline with a W, you'll drop, but you'll end up with a W on your report card. And some of you who have or who are on progress probation, or if you don't know what progress probation is, It's basically when you have more withdrawals than you have completed classes, or the ratio to withdrawals to completed classes is not good enough. So you have a lot of W's, meaning you signed up for a class and then you dropped the class. So if you have too many W's, then that means you're not making progress towards graduation, which is why you get flagged for our system and why you're here in this class if you're on progress probation. Because progress probation, it just means like you actually dropped the class before the deadline, but maybe you weren't doing well in that class and that's why you dropped it. And so we want to make sure that you have all the tools you need to be successful in school. We're not trying to punish you in any way. So next thing. So my office hours, I'm always available by appointment, but I do have a few office hours I will be listing in the announcement section when we get closer to them. I try to strategically plan my my meetings for times when it's critical in the term. So I have one meeting right before the drop deadline for the class, and I have another meeting before the other drop deadline for the class. So it's kind of like, okay, I want to make sure that if you want to know how you're doing or if you should drop, I'm available to tell you that information. So that's kind of what those are for. If you want a longer meeting with me, besides like maybe just a couple minutes to check your grade, please just text me. I'm available. I can do a phone. I could do a phone call. We could even text, just do a text meeting. We could do a Zoom meeting, however you want to do it. Like I'm available. I'll put it that way. Number 13, you'll turn in all your work on Canvas again, except for if you can't turn it on Canvas for some reason. You'll email me and you'll also text me and let me know what's going on right away. Number 14, you want to always take notes on your reading. So when you're reading, you should be taking notes on what you're reading so you have something to study off of for the quizzes. We have 6 quizzes in here, plus I think we have another quiz. I think we have a quiz just kind of on week 1 content. So like you need to study this week what's in week 1 and in the course introduction, because I have a quiz on that information next week. And I'll be quizzing you on stuff from this video, so that way I know who watched the video and who did not. So you want to take notes on your reading for those quizzes. I will be going over, as we get into the class, we'll go over how to take the best type of notes from reading. But for now, just take some while you're reading so you have something to study from. Nobody ever goes back and rereads the book. So it's important that you take notes when you read, so that way you have something to read or to study. Okay, so number 15, don't rely on the assignments tab in Canvas, because I'm going to try to trick you, because I don't want you to use the assignments tab. I want you to use your course syllabus to tell you what assignments are due and when. So there will be I think maybe 2 assignments where I will not date them, but they will still be due. I will still expect you to complete them because they're in the course syllabus. Anything in the course syllabus for that week is due, whether you see it or don't see it. And if you can't find it, you need to text me and let me know, hey, I can't find this assignment, even though it's due. And I'm just going to say this now. So if you are the one that spots it first, so like let's say I don't put a due date on an assignment, and you can't find that assignment, and you looked in your syllabus and you text me and say, Dr. Borgi, I can't find this assignment, Journal 6. I can't find it. Where is it? Because it's in the syllabus, but it's not in Canvas. And if you're the first person to reach out and tell me that, I'll be giving you some extra credit points for figuring it out first before everybody, because that means you're probably checking everything early. So I'll give my early birds a little worm to catch. So basically, if I fail to date something, it's not because it was an accident. It's because I'm trying to see if you're paying attention. Okay? The whole class is designed as a time management exercise. I don't know if you figured that out yet, but that's the reason I have so many assignments. The assignments are there to be helpful to you in a couple of different ways. So the first way is, we have lots of assignments because if you miss one, it's not the biggest deal. It doesn't affect your grade as much. And so the more assignments there are in a class, the more chances for success that the students have. And that's why I have a lot of assignments, because I want you to be successful. The other thing is that having lots of assignments then forces you to manage your time better, because you have a lot to manage. And if you didn't have a lot to manage, there would be no incentive for you to actually use your day planner and get better at using it. So because there's so many readings and assignments that you have to keep track of, you've got to use your day planner really to stay on top of everything. And when you do that, it's going to train you to be a better student in general, not just for this class, but for all your classes. So having this many assignments is actually me doing you a favor. And then also challenging you by making sure your reading instructions it's just something that's going to help you not only in this class, but in all your classes. So if you get used to my format where got to read everything, and then when you go to another class and do the same thing, you're going to be even more successful as a student because you've learned that skill. So the entire class is set up as a hands-on learning activity, because I believe that we do better or we learn better when we do. And that leads me to the next thing, which is there will be a lot of like games and things like that. So a lot of my students are like, why do I have to do a stupid game? This is lame. I don't want to. I'm a college student. I shouldn't have. That's my whine voice. But a lot of students whine about this. And I wonder why, because it's sort of like you're getting to play a game as an assignment. Like, you don't like this because you want me to work you harder or what? All of the games that we play in here are designed to teach you a lesson that can only be learned through experience. So like I can tell you, hey, this class is fun. But until you actually start doing the class and experience the fun, you're not going to understand what the fun is like, So when I say, hey, we're juggling today, pick up some balls and do a video of yourself juggling. Humor me, please. Trust me. I'm trying to show you something bigger, a metaphor, something deeper. The games are, the games are for you to learn through experience. So you'll see the first week we're doing a Light Bright game, a little competition on Light Bright, and it is an exercise in following instructions. So you need to make sure you read carefully so you know how to do it correctly. And then also a way for us to kind of get to know each other a little bit too, because it's our first week. So, we want to kind of know what's going on. But it's also a way for me to introduce the course syllabus to the class, which is, kind of important as well. So you will learn by doing. We're going to play paper toss, ring toss, something like that. We're going to be playing study skills Jenga. We will be juggling. We will be, I think Light Bright is one of the games, but there's other games too and other things like that. And so I just want you to know that I didn't put those in there for no reason. They are important. They are part of the learning process. And especially if you find out that you're a tactile, kinesthetic, or hands-on learner, we're going to be talking about different learning styles and how people learn differently. And tactile, kinesthetic learners, they tend to do best when they have something, kind of in their hands or something that they can manipulate, or by actually participating or doing an activity. So jumping into something. So for example, like if I say, let's paint the house. There are some people who you could be like, this is how you paint a house. And I could show them a video of someone painting the house with instructions on how to do it. And then they could be like, oh, cool, I get that. Other people need written instructions. So they need to read something that tells them how to paint the house. And then they could go do it. But tactile kinesthetic learners need to actually start painting the house before they learn how to do it. And so this class is designed for tactile kinesthetic learners. Actually, it's designed for all learning styles, but I really went out of my way to make sure, absolute sure, that I got my tactile kinesthetic learners some stuff that will help them to take the concepts and internalize them and learn them. So I want you to know that I've got you. If you're a tactile kinesthetic learner, most classes in college are not going to cater to you. And so I'm teaching you to adapt yourself so you can learn from any teacher, even if you're a tactile kinesthetic learner. So that is something you will get from this class, but you got to play the games, guys. Don't wuss out on the games. Okay, so oh, my last thing is on sensory tools, but I actually didn't bring a sensory tool with me, which is kind of sad. So maybe I'll go get one. Hold on just a moment. All right, so this guy has been my buddy for some time. And I think I got her or him, I don't know, a couple of years, well, maybe it's been 2 years now, but this has been a very good sensory tool, and I just love squeezing it. Anyways, so while I'm working, so, obviously I can't do it while I'm typing, but if I'm reading something or watching a video or whatever, I just kind of play with this guy or girl. And, she is, I don't know if you can see, there's like these little hairs, and they're plastic, but they're just so nice. They're so nice. So if you're a tactile kinesthetic learner, you probably need something like this to play with and hold on to while you're learning. During listening to lectures, while you are, reading, all of that stuff, have something like this. You can also, there are things where you can actually put like a band around your legs, like an exercise band, and kind of exercise, like do this with your legs while you're reading. Or you could just get on a treadmill and like be, walking while you're doing your reading. So try different strategies. You may need, when you're studying or reading, you may need some background noise. So I know I do best. My favorite place to study was Starbucks forever. But when COVID hit, I kind of had to change my environment, and it was really tough because I was so used to studying at Starbucks and having that background noise, and it was just beautiful. But now I've noticed that I do pretty good if I put like sports on TV, because I don't know, I'm not really a big sports fan, so it doesn't really catch my attention. And so it's on in the background, and there's lots of noise, and there's commentators and everything, and I can do my work and also be kind of listening to that at the same time. And the way it works is if you have like an ADHD type of brain, or you're just like a really tactile kinesthetic learner, it's almost like you've got these little children in your head. So when you're busy trying to read, the children are like, I'm hungry. I want something to play with. My hands are empty. And it just kind of complains and nags at you, and you're like, I have to go to the bathroom, So you struggle to actually focus because you need something to keep your hands busy. You need something to keep your ears busy. You need something to keep your body kind of, busy in the chair. So the more you're able to have background noise, and I think a lot of times I use like on my headphones, I'll just put on headphones and I'll use purple noise, black noise, white noise, all those different noises on YouTube, and just turn on one of those. And some of them are like 12 hours of white noise, and you just put that on in your headphones. And for some reason that keeps your brain busy enough to where you can focus. So if you are the kind of person that struggles with focus, please try this stuff right away. Get yourself a sensory tool. It doesn't have to be like this exact one. It could be any, just go on Amazon and type in sensory tool, and you'll have a plethora of things to choose from. Just some of them that you could buy like a pack of 10 different sensory tools for like $20, and they come and you can just play with them all while you're studying, and you will find this is the magic key to getting yourself to be able to focus. I've had people who have never been able to focus a day in their life start using sensory tools and be able to focus. And it's a game changer, life changer, huge difference, going from struggling to focus to focus. The other thing that you can do right now, start right away when you're studying. So when you're reading or when you're completing assignments, try the Pomodoro technique. And this is where you study intensely for 20 to 30 minutes, and then you take a 10-minute break. And then you go back and study for 20 to 30 minutes. Now listen though, there are some stipulations here that you need to know about. So the first thing is, you should not be on your phone or watching TV or having electronic devices during your break time. So you study for 20 to 30 minutes, And I say 20 minutes is actually a better amount of time. And I find I get a lot more done if I'm only doing 20 minutes as opposed to 30. But some people can do 30 no problem. So I'm just saying for me personally, I find the shorter chunk of 20 minutes is so much better because I know I've only got 20 minutes to focus. And it's so much easier to focus during that time knowing I've only got the 20 minutes. When I do the 30 minutes, it almost feels like it's so long that like I kind of poop out in the middle. So 20 minutes on, and then I like to take 10 minutes off. Some people will only take 5, and that's fine. But what I do is I'll do chores around my house, or I'll do something physical. The one thing you shouldn't do is get on your phone, because when you get on your phone, it interferes with your brain processing the information that you just read or you just learned. So what works is to do something physical. So like, for example, I will read for 20 minutes, then I will go clean my cat's cat box for 10 minutes. Then I'll return and do another 20 minutes. During the time that I was fixing my cat's cat box, my brain was still chewing on the material that I just read and solidifying what I had learned. So when I go to move on to the next section, I'm ready because my brain remembers that now. So it's very helpful and useful to do that. Try it. It's amazing. I got a lot of other, study techniques and strategies we're going to go over during the course of the term, but those are the ones that I feel like you need to kind of get on right away, just so you have it from the beginning of the term. And wow, I think that we've reached the end of our time here. So do make sure that you understand that you need to purchase the books and turn them in. Like, you need to show me proof that you have purchased the books. In the assignment for that, you do need to make sure that you upload all of the photos at the same time. You can send me photos of the receipt or of the tracking information for the book, or if you do the book itself, you need to take a photo if it's a physical book. So you would take it like, you could just do all 3 in one and be like, here's my stuff, and take a picture, and there you go. Or you could do one at a time and then upload all 3 at the same time. Or if you have the ebook, I need you to take a photo from the inside of the book somewhere, not the beginning, because the beginning, anybody could kind of get a picture of the beginning of the book. So I want to know that you actually purchased it. So do make sure that you understand you have to do that in this first week, and that you actually have to sign the syllabus contract. We do have a discussion called Meet and Greet, which is part of the homework for this week. And you do have, I think, the beginnings of readings in the textbooks. So that's what's going on. And I hope that you are excited for this class as I am. I look forward to meeting all of you and getting to know you better. And you take care and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.